Hi guys. I wanted to talk about the probably the correct way to fear the COVID-19 virus. And what I mean by correct way is to have knowledge. So of course, there are a lot of information out there, and the best place to get these information is probably CDC, and also probably some biochemistry textbook or biology textbook. Because so that you can get basic information. But again, I'm going to talk a little bit about the O2 saturation, and then also link that to the progression of the symptoms, so that you don't have to feel fear without any basis, hopefully, right? So let's do it. Let me actually go to my screen share, and then this is the typical oxygen saturation plot. I have drawn this so many times in my biochem class, and of course my biochem students or the intro bio students probably have seen this so many times in the past. But anyways, hemoglobin binds with oxygen, right? So O2, and then becomes oxygenated hemoglobin. So these are the hemoglobin, and then unbound and hemoglobin with O2. It's written as O2, but in reality, it's a different subunit. So I'm just going to put O2 for the time being, and we don't need to put like 4. But anyways, the point is that, O2 bound hemoglobin is written this way. Anyways, so so if you look at the ratio of this versus the total number of hemoglobin, whether it's bound with oxygen or unbound with oxygen, the total number. So if you call the percent, I'm going to call this percent saturation. Percent saturation is equal to the hemoglobin plus the hemoglobin O2 is the denominator, and then number of hemoglobin with O2. So basically, which means it's the 100% saturation, means that all the numbers of hemoglobin, it's bound with oxygen. So now that's it's almost 100% arterial oxygen pressure, which is right around 100 millimeter of mercury. Again, the unit isn't that important. Just know the number 100. You can call it 100 torr as well. It's a partial pressure. Again, I'm going to make another content probably and put it and talk about partial pressure. Right now, for the sake of argument, unit is not that important, but just know that it's 100 millimeter of mercury. So when the hemoglobin goes through the lung, picks up oxygen and becomes 100. And then it goes all over the body and unload the oxygen. When it comes back, it carries about 40. So it goes somewhere between 40 and 100 under normal circumstances. When you have 40 millimeter of mercury, you still have almost 75% of the hemoglobin is still bound with oxygen. So when you have 40 millimeter of mercury, you still have 75% of hemoglobin being bound with oxygen. So in reality, it just moves between 100% and 75%. So once the oxygen is unloaded, only 25% hemoglobin actually is used to unload oxygen to tissues. Under normal circumstances, just O2 unloading capacity is somewhere between here to here. Of course, when you are measuring partial pressure, so when you feel like you're breathing and then you're not getting any oxygen, at least it feels that way, and then you can actually use one of these, and then you can actually measure it. And of course, I'm getting right now, it's a little bit anxious, so I have right now right around 97, which is pretty normal. And of course, if I move and if I do heavy exercise, it'll probably go down a little bit. But anyways, the point is that right now it's right around 97, 98, so it's pretty normal. But let's say, so it's right around 98, 97, so it's right around normal. That's fine. But let's say if I'm feeling lightheaded, or even if I breathe in, I can't breathe, feels like I'm not really getting any oxygen. That's when you have actually a pretty low partial pressure. Let's say I call this right around 80, which is actually pretty low. So I'm just gonna call 80. So it's right here, 80 millimeter of mercury. Actually, if you have 80, chances are you're probably really desperate for air. The reason why is actually if you go up, you're looking at right here. So, and then between this point right here to right here. So you almost lost, so this is almost like 3/4 of the original capacity. So if you look at it, you already lost 25% of the O2 unloading capacity. And if you're already at 80 and 40, the difference between the partial pressure difference between these two isn't actually high. Here's the problem. Because of that, again, if you have, 80 millimeter, you're probably going to be carried to the hospital anyways. But you can get one of these, turns out. And I'm going to show you how to use this. Again, you can probably buy this in Amazon. I'll probably put a link there down there. But I got this right around maybe beginning of March. But anyways, if you don't have one, it's relatively cheap, as in like it's still good. The price of this actually went up recently. I just looked up Amazon and it was like $50. And I actually, I have a little bit of concern. I'm going to make another content about that. So anyways, so I'm going to talk about how to use this in the next video. So if you can subscribe, that would be great. It takes actually time for me to edit the video, because I don't, this doesn't sound like a professional YouTuber. Of course I'm not. So I'll do the best I can. I'll edit now so that more people can watch this. Meanwhile, if you actually want to watch the unedited version, I will actually put it unlisted. So if you can actually find me in about section of my YouTube, my profile, and under about, I will have my email address there, so you can contact me. And then you can send me just dummy email address, and I'll just send you the list for the unlisted videos. All right. So for special subscribers. So just so that you know. So that's the perks of subscribing with your email address. Let's do this together, and let's spread the words, or at least spread the knowledge, and then I'll do the best I can to provide you with the information. So thank you very much, and then I will see you again in the next video. Thank you.